y'all? This is your boy Village.
And your girl, Mrz Voilà.
And today in this episode, we want to talk about the coronavirus that's going on worldwide. It's just really impacting everyone worldwide, and we really wanted to just take some time to kind of talk and get you guys' thoughts and kind of hear our opinions about the matter. What you think so far with everything we're hearing in the news?
Oh man, like really, I couldn't imagine having it. I really couldn't imagine having it. All the people that have died, people that actually have it, how it's, affected people's vacations, and it's just really, really tragic.
It is, and right now, I think the World Health Organization announced that over 2,100 people have died from this virus.
Wow.
And I think the biggest story, I'm gonna give you a quick shout out. We don't have any paid, we'll get no money from this network, but BBC News, they've really been on it.
Yeah.
And there was a cruise ship, I think the Princess Cruise, one of the cruise lines out there out of Japan and out of China that had a lot of people stranded. They already went to enjoy a 2-week, 14-day vacation and come back, they quarantined. Do you have any thoughts on what that would make you feel like?
I mean, it's devastating. It's like, I know they're doing their very best to, protect the health and well-being of others, but it's like you locked in a cell. I mean, some of the conditions that we heard people, have, it's hard not having your own free will. But then again, you want to make sure you can contain that virus. I know myself, as y'all know, that have seen our cruise ship videos, and I know how cabin life is. That's a small room, and I could not imagine being stuck in there for a long period.
Imagine if people had a room, like an interior room, where you don't have a balcony,
no
you don't
windows.
even have a window. You're like literally in like a cage for 2 weeks, quarantine, and all your food has to be given to you, like it brought to your door.
I can't go to the buffet. Nah, I can't go to Guy Fieri's burger shack thing or whatever. Nah, that's not gonna work.
It's tough, but on a serious note, we understand the seriousness of it.
Yeah.
I mean, people are really getting ill. There was a report out there, I think, by the World Health Organization that said a lot of the doctors and nurses and people that are caring for the patients, I think over 1,700 of them have been infected with the coronavirus, and some have died. So it's a very serious matter. I think they even mentioned, was it last week, the actual whistleblower that was the first to really report that there's an issue out there with the disease died. The actual doctor that was helping everything.
It's really like a modern day movie of the movie Contagion.
Yeah.
Like really, like we are living this time right now, and it's crazy how it's not, being focused on. There's a lot of people dying. Like a lot of strange stuff is happening, and I don't understand why it's not, vastly reported.
I don't get it either, and it was crazy because the timing of it. Like we was watching Netflix, we was watching Pandemic, and
definitely check that out.
Yeah, check that out on Netflix, and it's really interesting because you get to hear about different doctors and nurses and organizations that are trying to work with each other to make sure, in a case of a pandemic,
or
systemic
just a large
issue,
outbreak in general,
right,
that they have a plan.
They have a plan in action, and in New York, being one of the largest cities in the world, they definitely want to make sure they plan. And you hear things about they're underfunded, no money, no preparation.
Now, could you imagine being in New York and then a virus breaking out?
Nah,
like,
it's chaotic. I mean, and you got to think about it too. You take the train everywhere, you take the bus everywhere. So the disease, the infection, will just spread instantly at a really, really fast rate. So it's just, it would be nerve-wracking, and that's the reason why we really got to pay attention. Like, what's really needed to make sure, we have everything we need. And I think that was kind of crazy, because as soon as we saw the documentary, boom, we see a report online about the coronavirus and how
and then the numbers are just growing more and more and more every day.
And we've seen really, I would say this too, take some time. I know a lot of times we look at our TV shows and have fun, but go online and really look at some of the news that's being reported. You have some people right now in China, I mean, it's a ghost town. I think right now, if I'm not mistaken, they have over 500 million people, if I'm not mistaken, that are self-quarantined, where there's a mandate, a policy in place where no one can leave their homes due to avoid getting the outbreak or the infection, right? How you think this will impact money?
Definitely.
Businesses?
Definitely. Nobody's going to school, nobody's going to work. You know, financially, a lot of people and places are going to be impacted. And then I just can't help but just think about what if it happened here. Like, what would be our plan? Like, what would we do? What preparation steps as a family can you do to live and make it through something like this?
I mean, honestly, there's not much you could really do. It's a huge issue. It's one of the issues that you don't want to have too as a business, right? If you really rely on one, if you have a supply chain and you have a country that's not impacted and they're your main supplier, you're talking about really impacting your business. And I think companies like Apple have already mentioned that they're going to have a rough quarter due to the impact that's going on, right? Because like you said, I'm not going to work. My kids ain't going to school if it's a virus out there and I don't know if we're going to be safe. I think one death is too many.
Yep.
Now you have over 2,100 and
so true.
80,000 are possibly about to be, infected. There's no way in hell, I'm leaving my house. So what does that do when everything we pretty much wear is made from China, made in China, right? And it's like, as a business, it's like a nightmare. So our hearts and prayers go out to everyone that's currently dealing with this situation.
Or affected by it in any way.
Right. I mean, people that are quarantined. That's another thing too. I think this has been a lot of questions on why are we getting people out of the cruises and why are we flying people back to their home country? A lot of that's just,
I don't get that.
I mean, I get it in a way. They want to return back to their families. They feel like they've been cleared. They don't have the infection. They want to get home.
But then again, there were around people that did have it. They might be immune to it for a little while and surface later. And it's like if you bring them back home, you potentially putting other people at risk that was never around it. So I personally do not think that was a good idea for them to do that so early. I mean, you can't play with it. You really can't play with it.
But what's crazy is that you have the situation where you've been quarantined for 2 weeks. You're not showing any signs. You've been showing negative. And then the crazy thing, like you said, is now some of them have been going in the bus, getting on a plane, heading back towards their home country, and then now finding out they actually have it.
But then again, you got to think about other things too. Like in China, I'm pretty sure their climate is different than back here in America. So how would that affect them in the virus? Like, there are so many other variables you're not looking at. And literally, I just feel like it's just a wake-up call to all families. Like, definitely need to have a ready-go bag, right, in your home and in your car with essentials. Definitely have like a lot of hand washing go around in your home more than ever before. Be careful about touching your face. Just sharing things in general. I mean, I hate to come to that, but we are in that world that you cannot be too careful. Right,
absolutely. And we just hoping for the best, as we kind of follow the story on different platforms. We're just hoping that obviously the spread definitely declines. People are getting get healthier. Right now the death rate is around 2.3%, which is, like I said, to me that's a lot. Regardless, it's a lot of people, and the death toll is still climbing. There's still many people that may be home. They don't really, it hasn't been reported. I mean, I'm pretty sure that number is much, much higher. And you know, it kind of starts to look at your own mortality. Like we need to start looking at how we handle stuff in our local cities. So if a situation was to happen, what hospital do we go to? What is our plan of action? So I think, you know, we need to avoid just cruising through life and also just make sure that we're prepared.
Definitely.
For situations. I mean, we're sincerely put our prayers out to everyone, and we just want to say thank you for watching another episode of Ethnos Expressions. Please subscribe to us. Please follow us here on Facebook as well as our Instagram platform. As always, we're going to bring you things that's going on around the world. All right? It's your boy Village.
Mrz Voilà. Peace.